Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Gooner. Hope you're all doing well on this Friday evening. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful evening, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Joining me for a bit of a light-hearted chat about all things Arsenal. We're going to cover various topics. Is Nitesh? How you doing, Nitesh?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Daniel, how are you doing? I hope everyone is having a good time. No Arsenal games. So I hope everyone is relaxed for at least 2 weeks because then the big test starts.
It is, and that's weird. This is the weird thing as well. This is what I hate about international breaks, is that there's everything goes flat. You know, you have the excitement of a transfer window, and we have all the excitement on deadline day about who's coming in, and then it's like a deflated erection like after, because you've got an international break and it just everything goes flat. There's no football. Nobody really cares about international football, do they? Really, let's be honest. And it just goes a bit flat. So trying to fill the days and the week that the internationals are on with content, and try and look forward to Arsenal content, Arsenal matches, but there is none. So it
I
is a
think
very, very strange time.
I think they should have done is probably planned the international break before the window closed. So that the window closed and it coincided with the international break also ending. And then as soon as the international break was done, then everyone was ready to go. And there would have been constant games and everyone would see their new signings play. Every team, every fan would see their new signings on the pitch. But what they have done instead, the new signings have come in and then they have gone on a 14-day international break, 14 or 15-day international break. So this is confusing what they are thinking. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it is a bit strange. You know, it is very strange. You know, nobody really cares about the international break. I don't even think the players care about international break. I really don't. You know, you look at the players um, that go on international break, and they just see it as a massive inconvenience. You know, you see a lot of players pulling out of international duty and retiring in that, because there's just no excitement. You know, this whole Nations League is just a glorified way of saying here's some friendlies. Really, it's not exciting. It's boring, and I just don't see it. I just don't get it. Honestly, I really don't. And also, which brings me on to um, maybe the first topic, which I was going to discuss this later in the show, but since we're talking about internationals, it
Yeah.
brings me on to the first topic of you know, you see, especially in this pandemic, with what's happening to players who come into contact with other players that have had coronavirus. You know, you look at the example with Kieran Tierney, for instance. You know, the guy has got to self isolate now for 14 days, which rules him out of an important game against Man City. How do you know, what are your initial thoughts and feelings on the whole situation?
I think if one of our players is not playing, one of theirs shouldn't play also. Why should only Arsenal suffer or one team suffer? Or I don't know. I mean, it is very unfortunate, but if one of our best defenders isn't playing and we end up losing the game because of that reason, it would be very weird and very strange, you can say, because of the fact that you saw when he was not 100% against Liverpool, what was the case. Now he's looking fit, but unfortunately, because he has to quarantine, he has to miss this game. So I don't know. Maybe that could be the kind of thinking. But yeah, one thing I just wanted to add with respect to the international break, I think for the South American teams, I think it right now makes a bit more sense because I just had seen Messi saying that it was crucial for them to win their first game. I think they are playing those games are the World Cup qualifiers, if I'm not wrong. So I think for
Yeah.
for us, the Nations League means barely anything. But I think for the South Americans, those games that are going on are more meaningful.
Yeah, I think it makes it harder, with the Kieran Tierney situation as well, because Scotland have their own set of rules to England. So even though we are, we're all as one as the United Kingdom, everybody in the United Kingdom, so whether it's England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, are following their own protocols when it comes to dealing with this pandemic. So the Scottish ruling is that you have to self-isolate for 14 days. Now, the issue is, and this is where Arsenal are kind of challenging it, is that Kieran Tierney has been following strict COVID-19 guidelines. He's also, since Stuart Armstrong had his positive test, he's had 3 negative tests, which was 2 at Arsenal, 1 up with Scotland. So their argument is, well, listen, if the guy keeps getting negative tests, he's not showing any symptoms at the moment, and I'm presuming that they're going to test him up there again, and they're going to test him next week. Their argument is, why can't he travel back and play? Because he is in that elite sports bubble, which the current guidelines are stating that if you're in that elite sports bubble, you can be exempt from sticking to any kind of quarantine or isolation rules if you keep showing showing negative tests, which he is at the moment.
See, the thing now is it is a double-edged sword. But I'll just give a quick comment, and maybe there are a lot of people in the chat. I think we should definitely read some also. But yeah, I was just saying one thing.
I was just going to read them out.
Yeah. A quick comment I just want to add to that is, if Arsenal wants to take the risk or not, that is a big if. Because if he tests positive, say in a later stage of his quarantine, and he plays, and he doesn't test positive till then, so it could infect the entire team. So then Arsenal may get blamed like Napoli was getting at one point of time, because they had to abandon their game. So whether Arsenal will be keen on taking that risk, or they would prefer to take precaution and rest him for a game if they have to, that will be, I think, the final call. So it depends. Now, let's imagine that Arsenal plays it safe. So I think then he's out of the game. If Arsenal doesn't take the risk, I think he's out of the game then.
Yeah. Big up Taib in the chat. Big up Football with Brownie. Big up Cheddars. Big up Grant. Omar. He said in regards to international break, he said the players don't care. They don't even sing when the national anthem is playing. Big up John 1186. Big up Justice. I've not seen you in the chat for a long time. Let's see what else we got here.
Omar.
Yeah. The Nations League was only started because they want more teams in it for the anniversary. So it's a backdoor route for shit teams that can't get into any Euros or World Cup. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. The Nations League is just a poor attempt to try and get shit teams qualifying for the tournament. Big up John Wayne.
But if the team is that shit, it won't anyways qualify for any major tournament.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like if you remember, Gibraltar, I think, was getting spanked 8-2 or something, and John is there now, but he remembers. I think they got beaten 8-2, 7-2, 6-2, or 6-1, something like that. So all these score lines, they're not anyways going to make it to any major tournament. So what's the point?
Big up Jade Shahid. And that's all the comments right now. So yeah, that's all of them. But yeah, listen, I don't think the international break. I just think it's pointless. And you see what's happening with Kieran Tierney with certain possible more implications. It's putting implications on Premier League teams now because players are going to be travelling all over the world to play for their national teams, and they're going to come back. They don't know who they're mixing with, and it's just a massive mess. It really is. But let's move on to talking about our first main topic of the evening, and that is William Saliba. So obviously, reports are suggesting that could be going out on loan to a championship club. That club is yet to be named because I think there's 3 or 4 clubs in for him. Where do you stand on this William Saliba thing? Do you think Arsenal should send him out on loan, or do you think Arsenal should keep him? Because when we bought him, there was a lot of people suggesting that he's going on loan to St Etienne and then coming and maybe slotting right into the first team. But that hasn't happened. Listen, his season didn't work out for whatever reason on loan, back on loan at St Etienne. Obviously, they tried to get him back on loan to St Etienne this season, but that fell through right at the last minute because they didn't have enough time in the window to get that deal completed. So where do you stand on this whole Saliba thing? Do you think it will be a good idea to send him on loan, or do you think Arsenal should just basically throw him in there straight into the Premier League? Because he's not even being registered for the Europa League squad as well. I saw today he's not even been registered for that.
Yeah, I just want to address one thing that a lot of people, including Brownie, were saying, that he is not in the team because his mom passed away. He wants to go back home. If that was the case, he would have already been back home. He wouldn't be planning to go on loan to another team, either a championship team or any other team. He would be with Arsenal and would be given, maybe you can say, a break, a personal leave or something, and sent back home to be with his family. If that was the case, they wouldn't be planning to send him out on loan to a championship side in the first place. So it is clear that this is something tactical, and this is Arteta's notion that he's not ready. So according to Arteta, he's not ready. So okay, can't do anything about it. The second thing, now if we have to let him go on loan to a championship side, send him to Brentford, get Benrahma on a loan deal in exchange with the option of buying, and at the end of the year, Saliba comes back, sign Benrahma with whatever fee we are supposed to pay and the negotiations we have with them, and we get a double bonus. Saliba gets first team action at Brentford. We get Benrahma on loan and we sign him eventually.
Jay Shahid's asking where your beard's gone.
It's gone. It's gone. Mesut Ozil will probably pay for it. Then I will get it back.
John saying useless tournament, this Nations League. Yeah, I agree. Big up to Tom Gooner, who's just joined. Hope you're well.
I'll probably have to pull some hair from the back and put it in front for a mustache, fake mustache.
And I agree with you, Nitesh. That maybe Saliba should go out on loan. I'm sort of 50-50 on this though, because I kind of think that if he's having personal issues, maybe the club should keep him, help him settle in, rather than just palming him off to a team. Because where could he go? You've got Brentford. A lot of people are suggesting that Watford might be his preferred destination because he wouldn't have to uproot his family to Watford. It's only just he could still stay in London and play for Watford, and it's close to Arsenal. So I think that's the club that's being maybe at the forefront of Arsenal's mind. But I do think they should. I do think they've got to do this with care. If he's going through personal tragedy as well, they have got to take that into consideration.
I think the thing is that I don't think that personal tragedy which was an opinion of some fans, is the actual reason. There are two problems. One, Arsenal failed to sell a lot of their useless dead wood. So they are probably thinking that who is better to play? Will you keep a Callum Chambers or a Rob Holding over Saliba? Yes, that is exactly what they believe and Arteta believes. So what he's trying to do till the time he has not been able to get rid of the deadwood, and he unfortunately needs Kolasinac as well, and Mustafi and all these guys, Socrates probably as well. What he's thinking is, let me send Saliba somewhere where he can develop. He will get regular game time. He will not be able to fit into the squad right now because I think he's not ready. Arteta is thinking probably. And because he has so many extra players that he still needs to include. Because obviously, if you think right now in comparison to Saliba, you will say that Callum Chambers is a more ready player. You will say that Rob Holding is a more ready player. You will possibly even say that Gabriel, who has come into the team and performed, is a more ready player. So he has David Luiz as well. These guys will be gone by next season. So what he wants is he wants William Saliba to be fit and ready to go. So he wants to send him out on loan for one season. Once, I think around 4 or 5 players are leaving next season, which includes Kolasinac, Socrates, Ozil, David Luiz. 4 or 5 players, out of which 2 or 3 are defenders. So when all these guys are gone, the number of registrations, the slots are there. I think he'll bring back Saliba then and also include him in his squad. Unfortunately, we were not able to sell all the deadwood, but some of these guys are more Premier League proven right now and are a requirement for Arteta and Arsenal. That is why I think he wants to send Saliba on loan currently. And when this deadwood is gone next season, he will be able to inculcate him into the team at that point of time. So I think that is why he wants him on loan. No other reason. The problem is he can't give him too many chances right now. Yeah, sorry.
There's a comment here from Grant saying that if it's because of his mum dying for his personal reasons, because his mum died, they should keep him around the club rather than send him to a place where he doesn't know anybody. And he's suggesting that the only reason they're sending him out on loan is because Arteta doesn't rate him.
Yes, exactly, because that happened 3 months ago. I told Adam it happened 3 months ago. If that happened even before the start of preseason. If he was so concerned about it or wanted to be the family, he would have never come back to Arsenal at that point of time. He would have stayed in France and possibly requested a loan move to Saint Etienne immediately. It wouldn't have been a deadline day thing or going so far. That is the thing. If he wanted to play, unfortunately, I think Arteta doesn't rate him because Arteta has his doubts about him for some reason. He's a young kid and he knows that he has a lot of trash in the sense, I mean to say, more Premier League proven than Saliba, but unfortunately not that good enough for Arsenal. And he thinks Saliba needs some time to settle in England. So that is why he feels that he should go on loan. And if that was the case, if you say that unfortunately it is that emotional side of things that is impacting him, he would have not even considered a loan move to any club right now. He would have said, I will be on with Arsenal and take a personal leave, which will be maybe non-paid as well. And I will go visit my family and come back after a month or two. That is what he would have just put in a personal request. What do players do? What do players do when someone in their family suffers a loss? They put in a request, they go and spend time with their family and they come back. Has a club ever said no to such a personal request? I don't think so.
No.
So that is the thing. That is why I think fans on social media are just exaggerating it, that he 3 months down the line also he's not able to settle in because of this. He lacks the mentality because of this. There could be various other factors. He had some poor games. He did not have a good preseason as well. He had one game which was decent. He had one game where he was dicey. So maybe Arteta thinks this guy needs more time. I want to give him regular game time, and unfortunately, I can't give it to him at Arsenal. So that is that.
And Tom Gooner says, rumor has it Arteta's not been impressed with him in training. Yeah, see, I don't know. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I think the club do rate him. I just think because he's so young, they don't know what to do with him. So because he has had this personal tragedy as well, which can't be helped, they want to obviously support him through that rather than throw him into a league. Let's be honest, the Premier League is so unforgiving, and if we're being brutally honest, the Arsenal fan base is so unforgiving. So when the guy's so young, he's just lost his mum, he's just moved to a new country. you want to sort of balance it out a bit. You don't want to throw him to the wolves early on in his Arsenal career.
I think if they threw him to the Wolves, we would have beaten Wolves again like last season. But jokes apart, what I'm trying to say is I think Arteta is over emotional and over protective. So I think he is, with respect to even Gabriel, when he dropped him for the Liverpool game, he's over protective and over you can say over emotional. Now there are rumors, I don't know if you have heard them today, Jack Wilshere is linked with Arsenal. So I said that
Wow.
this could be a deal that could happen because Arteta is, I don't know what kind of soft corner you can say he has for his ex teammates, and whenever he sees an opportunity to give them a promotion or a chance, like David Luiz got into the first team against Liverpool, he does that. He has this weak side which I have seen for quite some time, and I think that is his overprotective and his over emotional nature maybe is telling him that William Saliba is not ready yet for the Premier League.
Thing is, Jack Wilshere, right? I've not seen the rumours linking him back to Arsenal, but if he did come back to Arsenal, maybe for a year, wouldn't be a bad idea. Considering we don't have many creative options, we can't now dip into the market and get any. So maybe having him as a backup to Ceballos might not be a bad idea. But the problem is we've got too many players as it is. We need to start shipping these players off. John says, I can't believe we still got Holding and Chambers.
Chambers looked good last season. Let's not ride him out off right now. Give him some time. Holding can improve, like David Luiz has improved under Arteta. Holding doesn't have to be the fastest defender on the pitch, but if he can do his job effectively, I think he can work. He's good aerially as well. He's good in the air.
Yeah. Big up Miss Melina in the chat. Tom Guna says we've got to remember Saliba's only 19. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think you don't want to rush him into anything drastic, do you?
Yes, and I am not disagreeing with the fact that there could be a slight emotional reason for him not being ready yet as well. But making that a propaganda or an agenda that he's not ready because only of this reason is not fair to the kid as well. He's 19. So any manager can have doubts that a 19-year-old may not be just ready yet. That is all can happen in all likeliness. So I did not like the fact that the fans on social media were giving this one single reason that he's not ready to play in the Premier League because his mum passed away. That would be illogical.
Yeah, do fire the likes up, everybody, and do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Really appreciate that.
Taib shared a wife joke.
Taib said a wife joke. Go on, Nitesh. I'll let you do the honors and read this one out.
Wife walks up to husband, takes off her pants and says, "Make me feel like a woman." Husband takes off his pants, tosses it to his wife and says, "That needs a wash."
Mate, if I did that to my wife, I'd get punched in the face. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ.
You would have to wash your face later on.
So yeah, let's move on to our next topic, Nitesh. And since I've not really spoken to you, I know I spoke to you on deadline day, but now the dust has settled and things have calmed down. How are you feeling about our transfer window as a whole? How do you think it went? And obviously, how do you think our business ranks in terms of out of 10? How do you think we did?
I'll be honest with you. Our buying policy was as good. I'll rate it in terms of two clubs. Our buying policy was as good as, say, a Manchester City, because we were just behind Chelsea, I think, in terms of buying. So we bought well. But our selling policy was as bad as, you can say, probably West Ham. So you can get the whole idea that buying was good, not the best, but good. But selling was as bad as West Ham, who desperately say that we will sell any player off for a minimal amount. That is the way things were at our club. And I would say, if Arsenal was a club that depended solely on making money out of selling players, by now we would have gone into administration. That is the situation of how bad our selling policy is. Even if we got rid of Henrik Mkhitaryan, unfortunately, the club has no negotiation skills in terms of buying. In terms of selling, but in terms of buying, yes, we did play a good trick against Atletico Madrid, who got trumped by us. But overall, as I said before, not more than 5.5 in this transfer window, because you need to count the selling part as well.
Yeah. And Melina says it was good, but when we secured Partey, I feel it was going to be a deadline day signing. I thought Partey would be a deadline day signing as well. I said this all along. I said it was gonna drag on right up until deadline day, and I had a feeling that they were gonna get Partey over the line in the sense that make sure he wants to come to Arsenal. Then they were going to go away and get Aouar, which obviously that didn't happen because obviously this not everything. But I think this is what I think their plan was. I think their plan was to make sure Partey wanted to come, make sure that he wanted to come. All they had to do was trigger that release clause, and the rest was history. Listen, we saw on deadline day, I think they were always going to come back in for him. I think they were going to go to try and get Aouar, and then right at the last minute, I think they were going to always go back in for Partey, because that is the easier deal to done. Listen, you see how as soon as they triggered the release clause, the rest was history. Partey didn't even contact Atletico, nor did Arsenal. I mean, Atletico are really, really pissed off about that. I want to get your initial thoughts on that as well, because I've seen a lot of reports saying that Atletico were unhappy with the way Arsenal didn't let them know that they were triggering the release clause. In my opinion, all summer, Atletico have been saying to us, pay the release clause or you're not getting Partey. Pay the release clause or it's not happening. So I think Arsenal called their bluff, but because they've done it on deadline day, not giving Atletico any possibility of getting in another replacement, I think that's what's pissed them off. What are your thoughts and feelings on that, Nitesh, with the whole Atletico saga?
I think Atletico has been caught in the firing line. It wasn't about Partey. Partey was anyways going to be signed by us, but I think they were trying to play Lyon. They were trying to get Aouar. They were trying to play Lyon and the Lyon president. They were trying to show them that we don't have 43 million. That is why we have not gone for Thomas Partey. And we want to get Aouar, so we will pay you around 15-20 million in advance, and we will pay you the rest in parts. Unfortunately, whatever offer they made and whatever minimum offer they tried to get Aouar for didn't happen because of the nature of the Lyon president. So eventually, on deadline day, when they tried and they failed to sign Aouar, they eventually triggered the release clause, which they had initially planned and they always wanted to trigger. So it was It was them trying to actually play Lyon and not Atletico Madrid, because with respect to Atletico Madrid, they were already in talks with Torreira and everything was confirmed. If Arsenal would have, which was an incorrect rumor, which even I accept that I read it and I think spoke about it, an incorrect rumor was that Arsenal was not ready to sell Torreira now and had on loan Torreira now and had pulled out of the deal and only wanted to sell him. If they would have done that, that means they wanted to screw Atletico Madrid over. But the fact that they did not do that, they went ahead with the loan deal, clearly points that Arsenal was actually trying to play Lyon into selling Aouar for a cheaper price, trying to show Lyon that we don't have even 43 million in our bank to pay for Thomas Partey, and get Aouar for a minimal price and pay minimum amount upfront. Another option there was, if Atletico Madrid would have accepted a swap deal, maybe for Guendouzi and Partey or something like that, then Arsenal would have had to spend less, and then they could have used that money for Aouar. So they were trying to get both of them, but unfortunately they couldn't get Aouar because obviously you know how Lyon's president is, and Atletico Madrid got caught in the crossfire. They tried something smart, it didn't work out completely, so they eventually got the one target that they always wanted to get.
Yeah. Tom Gooner says the problem we have in moving players on is our players are on ridiculously high wages. Prime example of that is Ozil.
I think Ozil is the only one. Ozil is the only one that is at 350k. No one else. I mean, Aubameyang has a 250k plus add-ons contract, but I think right now if he starts performing, I think Daniel jinxed him there. Daniel was like, he signed a new deal. He signed a new deal. Now he'll not stop scoring. Probably he hasn't scored since. But yeah,
Taib, Jesus Christ, Taib! I've just seen your joke.
which one? The recent one?
The one he said. What's the difference between
Incomplete. Incomplete and finished.
Yeah, what's the difference between incomplete and finished? A man without a wife is incomplete. Once married, he's finished. It's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Do fire up the likes, guys, and do hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel.
Do you think Daniel Aubameyang will somehow end up like Ozil? Do you get that feeling? He's not scored since he signed.
I don't. I actually don't think Aubameyang will end up like Ozil. I think the reason why he's not scored in the last 3 games and a reason why a lot of our attackers have struggled is that we haven't had solidity in midfield. Now, bringing Partey does that because Partey's not just a defensive midfielder. There's so much more to his game than just protecting the back line. You know, he can carry the ball forward. He can play in that deep line midfield position, but he could also play in that further up, you know, because he is good with the ball as well. He's a good carrier of the ball. And I think it will help us defensively, no end. Don't get me wrong. He will absolutely help us no end defensively. But I also think offensively he will help us because he will be able to link the attack to the midfield as well as being that link from defence to midfield as well. So I do think there's a lot more to Partey's game than just simply being a defensive midfielder. But in terms of your question, I don't think Aubameyang will go. I think, you know, like I said, that's part of the problem is that they haven't had the service, and I think Partey will bring a lot of structure to that midfield and bring a lot of steel that we have been lacking.
I will ask you one question then. It's a tricky one. Apart from the 2 years in age difference, who do you think is better, Thiago Alcantara or Thomas Partey?
Say that again, sorry?
Who do you think is better, Thomas Partey or Thiago Alcantara?
It's a tricky one. That is a tricky one. I'll probably say they're about the same in quality. Yeah, I'd probably say they're about the same in quality. Who do you think's better?
I think Thiago, but that is the thing. That is when we were linked. But yeah, the benefit that we have is Thomas is 2 years younger, as I was saying. He's 27 right now. I think it's Thiago. So that is why I am happy. I am not denying that I'm not happy that Thomas Partey is here. But let's see whether he can perform or not. Thiago started off his first game with a crazy game. If Thomas Partey can do something similar, then obviously Arsenal fans should be really happy. But I will tell you one thing. If we have to rate the transfer window, I think that Thiago deal puts Liverpool above Arsenal in terms of overall transfer window. Because they have signed where they wanted to. They got in Diego Jota, who's looked good. They got in Thiago. All I think now they need is one maybe centre back or one defender coming in from the championship sides or something like that. If they can get that as well, I think they'll be good to go. They have some young defenders, but I think one more would help them.
Everybody's saying Thiago. Everybody's saying Thiago's better than Partey. Well, let's see what happens in the Premier League because neither of them have played in the Premier League. yet. So it'll be interesting to see. In terms of dealing with the physicality, I do think Partey will be better placed to do that than Thiago. Not saying that Thiago isn't a quality midfielder. I think he's absolutely awesome. And if we'd have got him and maybe not got Partey, I would have been happy with that as well. But I think Partey is, we have to remember his main position is being a defensive midfielder, but he can carry the ball through midfield as well. So we have to remember that as well. He's got more to his game than just defensive midfielder, but his main qualities is being a defensive midfielder. But I think maybe Thiago is probably better placed to deal with the physicality. And let's not forget as well, Thiago is going into a Liverpool midfield that is pretty much stable. You have to remember as well, Partey's coming into a midfielder where he is going to be the main man in that midfield. He is going to be carrying a lot of those players in midfield, whereas Thiago has already got a Liverpool midfield that is pretty solid anyway. So we have to bear that into consideration as well.
I'll be honest with you. If I was in charge of transfers, I would have gone for Doucouré and Thomas Partey together. Doucouré playing the ball carrier, Thomas Partey the defensive midfielder. With respect to, if you want to say, with respect to defenders, I would have gone for Godfrey, who went to Spurs. I think he went to Spurs, or did he go to? Wait, where did Godfrey go? I need to remember. One sec. So I would have gone for Godfrey. He is a good player. And
Tom Gooner makes a good point here. He says
Everton.
Partey will have more of an impact for us than Thiago will for Liverpool. And that is probably true, because you have to understand that, like I was saying, Thiago for Liverpool is going into an already sound midfield, whereas Partey for Arsenal is going into a midfield that's lacking a lot. So we're going to notice a big difference in our midfield, hopefully. This is all speculation. Whereas Liverpool, if Thiago fails, they've got other midfielders to come in and still do the job. So there's not really going to be anything different. Whereas for us, if Partey fails, not saying that he is going to, so before anybody kind of jumps on that bandwagon, if Partey does fail, it's going to have a bigger impact on us, because we don't have anybody else to step in who can do that job with as much quality that Partey has. So we have to bear that in mind.
That is a problem for us. We don't have any option. Liverpool has. But I think the way Thiago started off, I think if he competes with Henderson for his place, he's going to bench him. He's going to bench that overrated guy.
Yeah. It brings me on to my next point as well, Nitesh, that I wanted to touch upon. So with Partey coming into Arsenal, do you think that Arteta, and he's already hinted at it, will now change the formation?
A formation into? Which formation?
So at the moment he likes to play the 3-4-3, but we know that he's a fan of the 3-4. We know that he's a fan of the 4-3-3 and the 4-2-3-1. Do you think having Partey will make him be a bit more flexible in terms of what formation he picks going into game, and depending on the team, changing the formation accordingly? Or do you think he'll still stick to the 3-4-3?
I think 4-2-3-1 will be. It would be stupid to play 4-2-3-1 because of the fact. Look at the wingers we got. Okay, Saka can probably play in the 3. I can understand what you're trying to say, but Willian right now looks a bit oldish. He needs to regain his fitness. He needs to get back in form. And John, big up John in the chat. The Revenai, you can see my name. Beard gone missing like Mesut Ozil.
Just got to read this. Tayyip, what's the difference between a hooker and a crack dealer? A hooker can wash a crack and resell it.
Yeah, so I was saying that I think we don't have the wingers right now to play a 4-2-3-1. With respect to a 4-3-3, if we are intending to play a 4-3-3 in this season, which I would suggest against, then William Saliba cannot leave Arsenal. Then we need to keep him, because then because we know that we will be using him at some point of time, because at the end of it all, those two center backs have to be either Saliba and Gabriel or Saliba and Pablo Mari. It can't be anyone else if we have to play the four, because Mustafi can't play there in the back four. David Luiz can't play in the back four. Socrates can't play. Chambers can possibly play. Who else is there? Holding can't play in the back four. Holding can possibly be a backup. So if we have to play a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, then Saliba can't leave Arsenal. First. Second thing is, if it has to be a 2, then Arteta has to drop Xhaka. Is he ready to drop Granit Xhaka regularly? Because then if he has to play 4-2-3-1, I think the two players who will be playing in that 2 will have to be Thomas Partey and Mohamed Elneny. It's not even going to be a Dani Ceballos. Because if Dani Ceballos has to play in a 4-2-3-1, he has to be part of those 3. He has to be at the center of those 3. So imagine if it has to be a 4-2-3-1, it will be 4 at the back, Leno goal, 4 at the back, Tierney left wing, the left full back, Tierney. On the right, obviously Bellerin. Center backs, I think William Saliba, Gabriel, Pablo Mari, the combination. The 2 have to be then, possibly it has to be Thomas Partey and Elneny. As I said, Elneny plays the deep lying role. He just stands in front of the defense while Thomas Partey pushes forward. The other 3 have to be Dani Ceballos at the center, possibly Aubameyang on the left if he's playing Lacazette up front, and maybe a Pepe or a Willian on the right. And Saka can interchange with Aubameyang. When Saka comes in, Aubameyang switches to the center, Lacazette goes off. So that can be the combination. When Aubameyang is starting central, Saka plays on the left. So that can be the combination then for the 4-2-3-1. Ceballos cannot be in the back 2 in that midfield. He has to be in the front 3 if he is playing a 4-2-3-1. But then it will be a very complicated one, and I think the team isn't ready to actually get into that formation right now. Arteta will be taking a huge risk if he does that this season. I think if he finishes he can try that in the League Cup if he wants to. He can try that in the Europa League if he wants to, group stages once we are through. But trying it in the Premier League, not a good idea. Definitely not a good idea.
Yeah. Tom Gunnar says Mustafi can't play in general.
No, I think he improved. He's improved in the back 3. But back 4, definitely no. Back 3, he can do something. Back 4, he can't. Even David Luiz, same thing.
I've just got a feeling that Arteta's going to go to a 4-3-3. And I've got a feeling the preferred midfield is going to be Partey, Xhaka and Ceballos. I'm just wondering if that's what he's thinking.
I will say 2 things to that. If he wanted to play a 4-3-3 from the start, then he wouldn't have extended David Luiz's contract, and if he wouldn't be considering sending William Saliba on loan if he wanted to play a 4-3-3. I think this season is going to be again 3-4-3, and next season can possibly mark the start of the 4-3-3.
I don't know. I still think he'll play because I think I think he'll still play David Luiz in a 4-3-3, even though that David Luiz is not comfortable in a 4-3-3, because I think he knows now that he's got that protection of Partey in front of him, that if he does make a mistake, because that's what he's hoping, that with Partey, a lot of things are going to not get through the midfield with him there.
He's human after all. And I had seen a stat someone had posted that at Atletico Madrid, Thomas Partey made the most mistakes last season for goals conceded. He's after all human. See, I am telling you, that is the problem. These fans are building up him like the next Patrick Vieira already before he has even come at the club. Give him some time. Let him first make it to the Premier League. Let him play there. Let him start playing and performing there. Then start off the comparisons to the next Patrick Vieira or next whatever you want to call him. They have already started considering him that he can be. He's the player that we have signed. We have never signed a player this close to Patrick Vieira before. Maybe apart from a bit Diaby. Diaby was one of the guys unfortunately injured. We have the next Patrick Vieira. We had the next Van Dijk and William Saliba, whom Arteta doesn't even consider good enough for the first team now. So we had the next Van Dijk already. So these things are just goof up stories. These guys overrate players too much, and when things don't work out in according to what they think, they start abusing and they start trolling, and then they start getting on their backs. So it all needs time. Let him first at least reach England. Who knows that he may play one game, he has a poor game, then Arteta thinks that he isn't ready yet, or he has his first training session, and Arteta feels that I need to give him maybe 5 to 10 games in the League Cup or in the Europa League before I can bring him into the team. So
Big up,
fans,
big,
assume a
big
lot.
up to big up to Football HD 90 and Mr. Bungle. Yeah, sorry, Nitesh, I didn't
No,
realize.
I was just saying fans assume a lot. So much assumption. It could hurt. It could hurt their thought process, their expectations, and then they will turn on Thomas Partey even before he's even played a game.
Omar says, I agree with Nitish. Partey's very good, but we need to rein it in and give him time. Do you know, I get all of that. I really do. I do get all of that. But we also need to have confidence in his abilities, despite him, whether or not he does it in the Premier League is another matter, because we've seen players come in and absolutely flop. But having said that, the type of player he is, he's better than what we've got instantly, and he's a more physical player, and he's a player that we've lacked for a hell of a long time. Now, I'm not one of these fans that are comparing him to Patrick Vieira, because, to be honest, it's too early to say. We've not seen him in the Prem, but he is better than what we've got, and he's a player that we've needed for a hell of a long time.
But you also need to understand one thing, that even a physical player needs to adjust to the league, a different league. It may so happen that he may be a bit too rash, coming in with excitement and his physicality, and could possibly get a sending off. So hold your horses, give him some time, let him play 4 or 5 games, let him look as good as we think he is, like Gabriel did. Once he starts doing that, you can start the comparisons, because he's playing well. But if you start the comparisons way before he has even come into the team, you are expecting too much. You are not rating him, or you're not showing confidence. You're overrating him or showing overconfidence in his ability. And then if he does not live up to your expectations, you will start thinking that, why did we buy this player? This guy is useless. So that mentality really hurts a lot of people. And not that he has played 10-15 games and then you are giving your opinions or your ratings over it. But I'm not saying don't give your opinions, but don't expect him to be the next Vieira from the get-go. Give him maybe 10 games and see what he does. He may have a few mistakes. Like, remember, the first thing that Gabriel did, is almost cost Arsenal a goal. He almost cost Arsenal a goal with his first error when he and Leno messed it up. But what has he done since then? Man of the match, man of the match, man of the match. 3 man of the match awards. So that is the thing. Give the guy the first game that he plays, give him a second game, give him a third game. If he's able to be consistent, then this team can go places. This team can go right up, right there in the top 4. I think Thomas Partey coming in, top 4 hopes are real now.
Yeah, well, that was gonna be the next topic, and the topic is, with the signing of Partey, has it revised your Premier League prediction?
When I did a show with Simpy, I think it was, we said that Arsenal should finish in the 5th place, or was it with you? I don't remember. I said it somewhere, 5th place. So now the thing was, when I said 5th place, I still thought that they are. I still thought that they are good as top 4 contenders. I don't have a doubt. I said if we get both Partey and OR, we have filled all our voids. We should be contending for the league. But with Partey coming in, I think we should be contending at least for the top 4. So I think now with him coming in, and with the way that Chelsea and United are currently playing, I think we should finish in either 4 or 5. So it's a similar prediction. But yes, the hopes, the fact that we were contending for the top 4 is the same still. But yes, our inclination from a 5th place trends towards a 4th place finish. It can happen now because we have filled our voids.
Yeah. Listen, I actually do think that we could possibly get top 4. I wasn't maybe convinced. I think I said in my own predictions, I said top 6. But I do think having Thomas Partey is a game changer. You know, without getting carried away, I actually just think having Gabriel is a game changer because he's better than any defender we've got at the moment. But I do think we could get there. And looking at the league, it's so open. Even at this early stage, you know, you see big teams dropping points. You know, we lost to Liverpool, and then the week after, you see Liverpool get battered by Aston Villa. You see Man City getting hammered by Leicester. You know, you think Everton is on top 4. They could possibly get a top 4 finish. You're looking at teams like Leicester. Listen, they're always outstanding. So it's going to be a lot harder. But in the same time, in this merry-go-round of a Premier League season, it could potentially be a lot easier as well because it will be a lot closer. It won't be far away. You know, listen, United are going to get nowhere near the top 4. Absolutely nowhere near. They're in a right old shit state at the moment. Chelsea, you'd like to think that they could if their players start hitting form. At the moment, they're not living up to the expectations that is predicted. But, you know, we've got a chance. I do think we got a chance.
I'll just add one thing. Last season also, United started off worse than this. They were in 12th or 13th place at the start of the season. Like after 7 or 8 games, I think that was the case. Plus, they have now bought in a new left back. Things will improve for them. Trust me, even though they didn't get Sancho. So I was thinking that if they do get Sancho, possibly they can try for the challenging for the league and even win it. But their defense is a problem as well. But if Henderson starts in goal and they can sort the defensive problems out now with Alex Telles coming in and some of the other changes that they're making, they should be competing for the top 4. I won't count them out just yet because they have a referee factor as well. But yeah, the main thing is I am very confident that we can finish in the top 4 because only one area that we need addressing right now, which is the creative midfielder. But I think Willian can fit into that role as well. And in the worst case scenario, Arteta can probably put Saka or Pepe in that role as well. I think we have overall all our voids. Left back is 90% done. Kolasinac, no. Niles can play there. Cedric and Bellerin right back. Centre backs, we have a lot of them. Midfielders, we got the backing now. Attacking options, we have a lot of them. Martinelli also coming back soon. So I think we have a good squad. The only one thing that I will say, as I said, a creative midfielder and possibly Leno versus Martinez. That could be a game-changing factor as well.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are saying top 4 is more realistic now after signing Partey. Comment here saying if Partey's half as good as Vieira, he'll be a success. And that's it. You know, I don't want Partey to be. I don't think Partey will be the next Patrick Vieira. John 1886 says our defense still worries me.
I'll just add 2 quick points. Thomas Partey will have to be double as good or better as Patrick Vieira because Patrick Vieira had a good team around him. He'll have to be twice as good as Patrick Vieira in order to succeed at Arsenal because of the fact that Arsenal is in such shambles right now at the midfield. He'll have to, as I say, I'm saying it again, he'll have to be twice as good as Patrick Vieira to succeed at Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arteta has made some difference.
Mr. Bungle says, why are women's feet so small so they can get closer to the sink? Yeah, that's so true.
One more thing, just want to add. One more thing, you need to remember that Thomas Partey was injured last season. He has his fitness issues as well. Not sure whether he'll be starting the next game that against Manchester City. I think he's going to be rested against Manchester City, and he may be brought back in maybe the upcoming fixture of the League Cup or something like that. So I don't think he's going to be playing in the next game.
Is that Thomas Partey?
Yes, I think he's not fit yet.
No, I tell you what, I think he's going to be in straight at Man City.
He's not fit.
It's
I don't think so.
it's madness. It'll be utter madness, and I completely wholeheartedly disagree with you on this, Nitesh. I
No, I
think
don't
it's
think.
madness buying a player like Thomas Partey's caliber and leaving him out for a game against Man City, where you know that their midfield is going to overrun as. You've got to have him in there, and I don't think it's a case of fitness. If he wasn't fit, he wouldn't gone on international duty with Ghana, and if he wasn't fit, he wouldn't play. He wouldn't have played for the last couple of games with Atletico. Now, I don't think transferring from Atletico to Arsenal we're going to have any blind bit of difference on his fitness. We have to remember that Partey is the finished article. He is not an up-and-coming player that needs to be bedded in slowly. He can easily just go in there. So I kind of don't think his fitness is an issue. Big up Sam Greenwood, TV in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
See, you need to understand one thing. The reason I also say this is I understand what you're saying, but he had an injury at the end of last season. Yes, he has played some games, but if you see the Atletico Madrid setup, they have those 4 feisty, hard-working midfielders. Do we have such a similar setup? I don't totally agree on that yet. And I think Arteta definitely will not want to rush him into the game against Manchester City. We have seen his overprotective nature for his players and his signings. So I think he may be brought in. I'll tell you which game exactly. According to me, I'm not saying that it would definitely happen, but I think according to me, we play Manchester City next. So I think he's not going to play there. He may be starting off with the first fixture of the Europa League, which is against Rapid Vienna after the City game. I think that is the game he'll be brought into. I get that feeling.
Sam says we have 2 good solutions for an attacking midfielder: Smith Rowe, who Arteta rates, and Ceballos, who played there for Real Betis before Madrid.
You mean to say in which formation? If you're saying in a 4-2-3-1, I can agree with that. But with
which formation, Sam? 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-2-1? I actually think a 4-3-3 is going to play.
I think Ceballos' biggest, he's inconsistent. That is one problem. He's very good as a ball winner. He's very good as a simple. You can say the transition play is good, but the creative play not so good. I don't see a lot of through passes. 1 or 2 in every game, definitely. But you need to also see the various passes that he does not play or he misses. So 1 or 2 good passes, definitely every game. 1 or 2 good through balls. His transition play is good. Ball winning capability, ball retention is good. He at times is a good tackler as well. But overall, the creativity still needs an up. That is why they were trying to go for OR. Otherwise, they had Ceballos anyways.
Yeah. Let's have a look here. What have we got? Get past all these comments. Yeah, so not really a lot in the chat at the moment. But yeah, like I don't know. I do think Partey will get thrown into that Man City game. I really do. I've just got a feeling that Arteta's going to throw him in because he's not going to need a lot of bedding in. He's not going to need a lot of soft soaking. You know, you brought him in for those types of games. It'd be madness not to play him, or at least have him on the bench. But you know, what other options do we have? You know, especially in a game like that, you're going to want to have somebody who has a physical presence, and we only have Partey at the moment who can do that.
I think he's going to go with Elneny and Ceballos.
But I do think he's going to throw him in. I really do.
You wanna make a brownie bet on it?
A brownie bet. Hey, listen, I'll happily bet. I'll happily bet with you because I do. And you guys watching in the chat, do you think Partey will be thrown in against Man City, or do you think that Arteta is going to save him for a League Cup or
the Europa League
League game or a Europa League game? So yeah, do put it in the chat and let us know what you think. I think he was going to go in for the Man City game. Nitesh is not so sure. He thinks he's going to be rested. So let us know what you guys think.
No, I was saying could be on the bench as a sub. He won't start. I can say he won't start. That is what I feel.
Let's have a look. So Sam says 4-2-3-1 or 3-4-3. Wow. So you're saying that Arteta could stick with a 3-4-3?
Uh, 3-4-3, 3-4-3. Partey, Thomas Partey. He will have to then drop Xhaka. Is he ready to drop Xhaka? That is the thing.
Sam said if he makes a quiz, we better go and watch. When are you making this quiz, Sam? Let us know when you're making the quiz.
I wanted to do a quiz. I wanted to take part. I am ready.
I know. I was gonna do it. I was gonna do a quiz tomorrow as well. But if Sam's gonna do one on his channel, then yeah, I'll definitely jump on that because it's fucking better than watching this international fucking bullshit football. International sucks. It really does.
So I think everyone is busy with the quiz chat, but no one said whether they think Thomas Partey will start or not against Manchester City.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to ask you your prediction right now, but do you think that we will beat Manchester City again?
Tom Guna says he doesn't think Arteta's going to throw him straight in because he's not trained with us. Yeah, but he's going to train next week. I don't think. I think he'll throw him in. I think he'll throw him in. I honestly do. I do think he'll throw him into that midfield. I could sort of understand it if we were playing a lesser team, maybe resting him. But because we're playing Man City, you've got a player who's physical, and why would you rest him against Man City? I can sort of, if we're playing like a Fulham or a Sheffield, I can sort of understand that. But you're playing Man City where they've got probably one of the best midfields. And let's not forget as well, Man City are a bit shaky at the back. Very, very shaky at the back at the moment. So you put Partey in there, we'll give our forwards, and let's not forget, we've got some fantastic forwards at this club, a bit of license to throw them forward more because they'll have Partey behind them. Whereas you don't play Partey, you're sort of weakening the team because then our forwards have got to drop back and do defensive work as well. So they're not going to be able to get forward. I just think it's an opportunity wasted if you don't throw Partey in there.
See, the thing with that is, I will just say that if you remember one thing, he made this mistake with Gabriel not playing him against Liverpool. Now, if he learns from his mistake, then we can see Thomas Partey, hopefully. If he doesn't learn from the mistake, knowing Arteta's nature, I think he's not going to start him. So when I make that bet, I am trusting Arteta. I know Arteta's nature from the Gabriel mistake and what I've seen of him so far. And I think he will want to give Thomas Partey at least a breather, time to train with the team, which he hasn't done yet because he's already gone back with Ghana. As you said yourself, he came to Arsenal. He just went back with Ghana. So by the time that he gets back, he's not going to get too much time to train. I think Arteta will want to give him one game, which is not as intense as a Man City one. So I think he'll start on the bench.
Problem is, though, as well, we have to factor in, and I know it's a different position, but we're already weaker because looks like we've lost Tierney for this game. So we're going to need some defense. That immediately weakens our defense. So throwing somebody like a Partey in there, listen, it's not ideal. You're going to want to have team. You're going to have enough time to train with the team, of course. But in this current situation where games are congested, and the fact that we have lost Tierney, that immediately weakens us. So maybe throwing Partey into that midfield, I think he'll do it. He might not do it for the whole game, but I think he'll give him at least 45 minutes. And then if it's not going well, hook him at half time or bring him on for the second half, depending on the result. But I just think he's going to play some part in that game. I can't see him being left out. And listen, players go on international duty all the time, and players don't get to, players training with the team. We've had Xhaka, El Neni, they've been playing consistently for the whole game. I just don't see why you wouldn't throw him in there to give him a bit of game time.
I think he's going to go with the same combination, El Neni and Ceballos, that he started in the last game. Let's see. We both have our opinions. I just want to say one thing to Sam. Probably if you can do a quiz on COVID as well, I can do that on my channel so that it also spreads awareness to people.
Wow. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. Annika, I can't even pronounce that.
Aniket.
Annika Broy. Apologies if I've absolutely butchered your name, considering you just said lots of support for you, bro. Thank you very much.
The United troll is back.
What's that?
There's a United troll in the chat.
Where's? Oh yeah, bloody United troll, fucking United troll. Hey, do hit the subscribe button though. Would really appreciate it.
I would request John. I would request John every time he says United, write 6-1 next to it. But unfortunately,
let me tell you something, right? You're there trolling in the chat. United. What did you lot fucking do in the transfer window? Fuck all. You signed Cavani and you gave him the number 7 shirt.
They signed Jadon. Oh wait, no, they didn't. They signed Jadon. No, they didn't. Oops, my bad.
Exactly. Everyone's saying United shit. Yeah, and United is shot. Spurs are shit. Yeah.
No, but didn't they sign Jadon? Oh no, they didn't. Oh yeah, forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye, Lewis. Hope you enjoy watching your shit team this season because let's be honest, they're closer to they're going to be closer to the relegation zone than they are the top 4. You see how shit we were last season, and we finished what was it, 8th? That's how shit United are going to be this season because they've not invested, and everybody else has.
I think as I was saying, but there is still something that teams can actually get from the championship. There are some championship gems still out there that we can possibly also get. Benrahma is one such player. If William Saliba has to leave on loan, send him to Brentford, get Benrahma on a contract where we can get him on loan and with the possibility of a signing, and get Saliba back next year again. So there are some gems. There is Buendia. Buendia. Yes, that is his name. I don't know what happened to. Anyways, Buendia is there from Norwich, and Max Aarons as well. There are so many good players in the championship as well. A lot more I can name from Watford as well.
John says at least we won a trophy. Yeah, exactly. United didn't win fuck all. They were in 3 semi-finals and got knocked out of all of them. So yeah.
See, I don't mind a United fan being in the chat, but if he's ranting like a kid about United, then we give you the reality check. Even Cantwell is there, yes, Aniket, but I think Cantwell will be overpriced. Buendia will not be that overpriced.
Yeah, it is fucking United. Jesus Christ. Someone's obviously bored on Friday evening. They haven't got a fucking missus to poke. So they're just poking fun in YouTube chats. Well, it is what it is. So Nitesh, do you think we should prioritize the Europa League or top four now with Partey, or do you think we should try and go for both?
I think if United and Chelsea play the way that they're playing, they will gift us a top four position. We won't have to do too much. If they continue playing like this, the way that they're playing, they will gift us probably a top four position. The major threat right now is, I don't think even Manchester City. I think the major threat right now that is a title contender, possibly if they can be consistent, looks Everton. Spurs can be contender for the top four. Liverpool can be a contender for the title as well. Manchester City, not so much. Manchester United and Chelsea, unless they really improve, as I said. And Leicester will be a contender for the top four again. I get that feeling. Leicester does not have the squad depth. That is the problem. So these are the teams. Wolves, I don't think, will do too much. Which other team is there? Sheffield United dead. They're going down. Into the bottom half of the table. Crystal Palace, ups and downs. No, not that much. And which other team can you think of? Any other team you can think of that I missed out?
Who did you say? Who did you say? Sorry, I missed the last team you said. So
I said Sheffield United going downwards into the bottom half of the table. And if you're saying Aston Villa, then I don't think Aston Villa is going to be top contenders. They will be there in the top half of the table. They will probably finish where Wolves finished last year, 8th, around that position. But I know you will say Leeds. I don't agree with Leeds. Too open a play, or there are players too open for Leeds to finish in the top 8. They may finish in the top 10 or 12.
Yeah, I still think I don't know with Leeds. Like it all depends on how they do against the lesser teams, doesn't it? You know, it's all well and good. I certainly think Everton will finish in the top 8. They're on absolute madness. Do you know, I saw a stat the other week that last season it took Calvert-Lewin until Christmas to score 6 goals. He's already done that in the opening 3 or 4 games of the Premier League. That guy is on fire. Absolutely on fire.
He scored for England as well yesterday. He and Ings.
What's that, sorry?
He scored for England as well.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It is mad. It is mad.
But you need to remember one thing. Once Everton loses their first game, then the real test starts. They may lose against Liverpool, as John would say, but I say Everton will beat Liverpool. But once they lose their first game, that is when the real test will start for them. They got some crazy signings. Godfrey is also a good signing. They got some amazing signings. James Rodriguez wanted him at Arsenal. Still don't know how we didn't sign him, and he's gone to Everton. Apart from that, who else have they signed? Who am I missing? I'm missing some good names. Wait. Obviously, Doucouré, another player I wanted at Arsenal. Allen was linked with Arsenal, I think, at one point of time when Emery came in. Their entire midfield is replaced. Why didn't Arsenal do that? We should have done that. We have been saying this. We want our defense gone, our defense replaced. Our midfield should have been replaced. We have done that with this defense. Hopefully, we are hoping that by the time that the next window comes in, our priority will be replacing the entire midfield. Apart from maybe Thomas Partey and Dani Ceballos will be a 50-50. Let's see whether we need to replace him or not. But I think apart from Thomas Partey, I think most of our midfield, I'm just saying midfield, not the wingers, our midfield will be replaced in the next window.
Yeah. It is mad. I do think, I think we'll prioritize. I think go for the top 4, but I do think we'll prioritise the Europa League.
I think we need to take the Europa League a bit more seriously, because group stages we'll be anyways going through. But after that, we need to see whether we can actually beat the teams which come from the Champions League, especially because Manchester United may be dropping down as well.
Yeah, and I do think our priority is to make that Champions League, whether it be the Europa League or top 4. I think that has to be our priority. Anything after that is a bonus. I'm not really fussed about winning a trophy this season if we can just get into the Champions League.
Do you think Everton will beat Liverpool?
Let's have a look.
Daniel, do you think Everton will beat Liverpool?
What's that, sorry?
Do you think Everton will beat Liverpool? John's reaction had to come in the chat.
I don't know. Like, I think they've got a chance. I think they've got the best chance that they've had. You know, I think they've got a chance. Sam says Everton are in 17-4.
I think both the Johns have a thing for Liverpool. One is saying Everton are overrated. One is saying, thank you, John, stop this Everton.
Amar saying Everton will beat Liverpool because their defence is shaky and Alisson's out.
Yes, the Alisson factor is the big one.
Amika Broy says, I want Europa League this year. Yeah, I want Europa League. Sam says, I think Everton look pretty good. Liverpool will be a good test, though. Amika Broy says Everton will lose to Liverpool. Yeah. Tom Gooner says, did you see that Harry Redknapp thinks Tottenham will win the league this season? He's obviously smoking some high grade. Do you know what I mean? Seriously. Yeah, he does need to lay off the pipe, Tom. That's
Mourinho had I think he had a good team with Manchester United as well, and he finished second. I think Spurs can challenge the top 4 this season. That is what they can.
Do fire up the likes, guys. Yeah, sorry, Nitesh, carry on.
No, I was just saying that I think Spurs can finish the top 4. That is at best what they will do this season. They haven't. Sorry, I was just saying they haven't played too many big teams yet. When they played against Everton, they ended up losing 1-0 in the first game. So that can happen again against the big teams.
Tyrone says Liverpool will beat Everton 3-2. It's not a bad shout, you know.
John is so pissed. John is so pissed.
John said if we don't finish in the top 6, it's a failure.
Not that John, the Revenant.
John said the Revenite says, I hope we win by loads just so I can come back and all the Everton dick sucking will end. Sam says Harry Redknapp is a deluded old man.
I think with age people tend to lose their marbles, so can't help it.
Amika Broy says Spurs will challenge, but they can never win a trophy because all they can do is challenge.
I wonder how you pronounce the name of Jason Roy, the cricketer, if you ever had to.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I butcher everyone's name. Jesus Christ. It's not me that butchers it. It's my fucking speech software. So blame that. blame my speech software. It butchers everything. John said if that's what Harry Redknapp said, he completely lost the plot. Yeah, mate, he has lost the plot. He's probably going to be dead soon anyway, Harry Redknapp. So he's probably not long for this world anyway. But yeah, Spurs fans should pray Lloris don't pick up an injury, says Tyrone. Yeah, because then they'll have that clown Joe. Actually, yeah, they do, because then they'll have clown Joe Hart in goal.
That would be funny.
John says, always blame my tools. Hey, mate, it's the speech software. It's the speech software. And anyway, that's what wives are for anyway. But I can't blame my wife on this occasion because she's not the one controlling the computer. But yeah, listen, it's going to be an interesting scene. Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, they were saying that they were saying that you were a bit harsh on the Harry Redknapp part. So I was like, that is why you saw my expression when he said it.
Well, I'm not. It's not harsh. It's just a sad fact and reality, and it's probably going to be a lot sooner than before. Because if he gets COVID, he's probably finished. You know what I mean?
Hopefully, he doesn't.
No, it's not me. That my wife enjoys a good tool, Sam. Not me. Jesus Christ. Oh dear. Now this fucking YouTube stream's descending into dirty chaos, and it's all Sam's fault. It's all Sam Greenwood's fault.
And the best part is Adam isn't even here.
Yeah, every time Sam comes into a chat, Brownie fucks off. What's that all about?
Because
every time we start talking about Partey, if you notice, Brownie's like, "Fuck, I better get myself out of here." Like, Jesus Christ!
Before Daniel and Sam start asking me for money.
Yeah, he's just like, "Oh fucking hell!" Jesus Christ!
Harry Redknapp, did Harry Redknapp get COVID, or you were just saying that if he gets?
Sam says I could put a Spurs shirt on and I wouldn't know it. I would, mate, because I can smell shit. Just because my eyes are fucked doesn't mean my sense of smell is too. Everyone's saying man up, Brownie. Anyway, I do think Everton will beat Liverpool though as well. Sorry, John or Evernight, if you're in the chat. Sorry, John.
Oh, John.
Sorry, I do think Everton will beat Liverpool. That'd be funny to see if Everton beat Liverpool, just to see John's reaction. I just want to see John's reaction to that.
If Everton beats Liverpool, John will probably start a Fortnite stream and start shooting everybody in the head.
Tom Gooner says Brownie is busy paying £400 for inside information. Yeah, well, he's being ripped off then because his inside information is bollocks.
The only inside information he probably wants for £400 right now is inside of a woman.
The Revenite said, I changed my like to a dislike. You fucking bellend. Hey mate, I'm not being harsh. I just predict that. Listen, you guys without Alisson are struggling right now, and Everton have got Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin, and Calvert-Lewin's on fire. Do you know what I mean? I actually do think Calvert-Lewin could probably get 2 or 3 in that game because your defense is shaky without Alisson.
And Joe Gomez is playing the worst games of his life. Joel Matip is also not there. So Joe Gomez, Allison gone. I can see an Everton win.
John said he's going to throw up.
John, unfortunately, Brownie isn't around. Otherwise, he would have been aroused by that probably.
Yeah, John says don't listen to Brownie. Yeah, whatever Brownie says, the opposite's going to happen. Tyrone says Henderson will start against Everton. I will give you that, John, and hence why I'm taking him out my fantasy team. The Revenant says Everton have Pickford in goal, and he's as bad. Yeah, he is. He's making a lot of mistakes at the moment. I can see though. I can see maybe. Yeah, I can see maybe. Who else would replace him though? He only gets picked as well because he's England's number one, Pickford. That's why I believe he only gets picked.
They don't have a
Erica Broy says Liverpool need Lord Lovren back. Oh, John's getting loads of stick in the chat.
No, I don't think he's getting that much right now, but I think Brownie's getting more. But yeah, Van Dijk has also been poor, as John is saying. John 1886.
Yeah, Brownie's getting stick along with Liverpool. Those are two people. Those are the two things that are getting stick in the chat. Brownie and Liverpool. Oh God, it is funny. It is hilarious.
I wish one of us had said that Liverpool will lose to Aston Villa, and then John would have been like, "No way, you deluded fan!" and then 6-7-2. That would have been fun, but unfortunately, no one saw that coming.
Sam says Liverpool are out of sorts for sure, but they'll want to bounce back, which makes them more dangerous. Agreed. I do think that they will want to bounce back, but yeah, their defense and goalkeeper still worries me.
Yeah, the problem is Joe Gomez and Adrian. Those two guys are not playing well, and Van Dijk is also struggling to cope because of these things. I don't know what's happened to Alexander Arnold as well. I think he's reached a saturation point in form. I think same thing is happening with Alexander Arnold this season. I don't know. Just let's see what they can do. But let's see. I didn't give City the league. I don't know if Daniel gave it.
What's that? Sorry, what's that? Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, you said Manchester City will win the league. So the Revena is saying you guys gave City the league before the season, and look how that turned out. The history of the fixture shows we could edge the game, but I won't deny our defense has been awful. No one is saying that it's going to be one-sided, but I think Everton has the edge right now overall.
I'm not saying the Liverpool Everton game is going to be all one-sided. I don't think you'll get a smash in, but I just think there's weaknesses in Liverpool and there's vulnerability in Liverpool that wasn't there last season, and Everton's massively improved. Not just Everton as well. I know we've been talking about the Liverpool Everton game, but not just Everton. You look at other teams. Villa's improved no end this season. So this is where the league is open. This is where the league is so open.
And wasn't the fixture last season this fixture where Origi scored the winner like a lucky goal which bounced off the bar, or was that 2 seasons ago? Need to remember that. Everton, it's at Goodison Park, Everton versus Liverpool. Was it last season or was it the season before? I think it was the season before. Need to remember that.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to remember that.
Just a second, I'll quickly give you that update. 2019, 2020, it was goalless. 2019. Last season, it was goalless. The games at Goodison Park have been goalless, 2 goalless games. And Yep. So there have been two goalless games. 2019 was goalless. 2020 was goalless. So two goalless games there. Let me see when was it 2018 where Origi got that goal. No, I think that was at Anfield then. Yep, that was at Anfield. So it's been close games. I think Aniket, that was at Anfield, not at Goodison. The games have been 0-0, but I think this game will definitely have goals. And you need to remember one thing, but Daniel, I would like to highlight one thing, that all
Yeah,
defenders since the start of this new season have been poor, have been damn poor. Defenses conceding 7 goals in a game, 7 6 7 goals, 8 goals, 9 goals in a game. If you have seen probably uh, the first game weeks, if you've seen, there were a total of maybe around 50 odd goals conceded in that first game week. So the defenses are very bad. It's a thing that has been going true about most of the teams, apart from barely a few teams like maybe say Everton, which is one of the teams which has a good defense so far. Even I think Aston Villa. So overall, the big teams are struggling with defensive problems. We are lucky to have a decent defense. So I think Liverpool will really be tested because their attack is also not in the best of form right now. So I think it is Everton's game to lose at this point of time. This fixture at least.
yeah, yeah. Listen, I agree. Listen, I think we'll wrap up there, Nitesh, because we've been going for an hour and a half, and we've had some good discussions on Arsenal. We've had some good discussions on Partey, and we've interacted quite well in the chat tonight. Just tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, guys, you can find me at Beard Gone Missing Like Mesut Ozil. On a serious note, you can find me at Beyond the Post on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Hopefully, me and John can set up a few Fortnite streams and do some gaming as well. And you can find me on Arsenal FC Fans. I don't know whether you want to find me there right now or not, because the the reach ban continues and continues. But yes, there is a page called Arsenal FC Fans which is not posting anything right now for the next few weeks till it gets active. So you can find that on Facebook. It has around 370k likes. Thank you, Daniel,
Yeah.
and good to be on your channel again.
Yeah, no, that's really good, and it's good to have you on as always. Listen, guys, content coming over the next week or so. I'm debating, and I know I absolutely hate internationals, and I hate blooming England, but I'm debating doing a watch along for the England game just to pass the time, and I can interact with you guys and make watching England enjoyable, like with interacting you guys. So I'm debating on doing a watch along for the England game. But then next week, I'm going to be doing the preview for the Man City game, and then obviously the watch along for the Arsenal Man City game. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any other watch alongs next weekend, only that watch along for the Man City game, because I'm away on Saturday till Monday, but I am going to pop on and do the watch along live from the hotel. So I'm going to do it from the hotel bar. So it's going to be interesting. And then the review for that game will be on Monday when I get back home. I'll do the review then. So yeah, so coming up, watch along for the England game. Looking ahead to the Man City game next week with lots of content. I'll do the preview maybe on Thursday or Friday. And I might do a combined 11 sometime during the week for the Man City Arsenal game, and then the watch along on Saturday, and then the review the following Monday. So do keep liking the content, do keep hitting that subscribe button, do keep hitting that share button, and just a heads up, guys, as well. Please set a reminder on your phone for all my content coming up. And because I know notifications at the moment on YouTube is moving a bit mad, so a lot of people aren't getting the stream until it's halfway through or finished, so you're kind of missing the live broadcast. So yeah, just a little heads up for you guys. And listen, it's been a great evening. Only 6 days, 7 days to go now until the Premier League returns and this boring international week is over. But listen, all enjoy the rest of your evening. All enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday for the watch along of the England game. And there's only one thing left to say, and that's come on, you Gunners.